Hello. I'm really happy to be here today because I had an experience this past weekend that I want to share with you. And for me, it was a real life, concrete reality that I've been talking about for such a long time and have forgotten the fact that there was a time I lived through it. My granddaughter, as you know, uh, comes to see me on a pretty regular basis. She's going to be 8 years old. She's 7.5. And my wife and I had volunteered to keep her for the weekend. And it was a reality awakening for me because I have been talking to you on and on again about the child who lives within us. The only difference, and I'd like to blur that difference, is I have been saying to you that because of Sigmund Freud, that the child within us, because basic character and personality are formed by age 5, is only 5 years old. Well, my granddaughter is 7.5, and she spent the weekend with us, and I get along with her pretty well. Her favorite certainly is her grandma, and she would spend 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with her grandma and ignore me entirely, except for the fact that I do take up some space and I sit and eat with them and do other kinds of things. What I want to talk about is an incident that occurred, two actually. One having to do with treats, and the other having to do with me. Her mother sets limits, and being grandparents, giving a child treats is something that grandparents do, and it's one of the reasons grandchildren like to be with adults because we're more lenient. Well, it got to the point where I said, "Sweetheart, you can't have another treat." And she said, "Why not?" And I said, "Because it's not good for you. You've had too many treats. But I want a treat, and Grandma always gives me treats." I said, "I understand that, but your mother nor your grandmother are here now, and you're here with me, and you've had quite a number of treats, and you can't have another one. You always say no to me. You're mean. You're nasty. I'm going to tell my mother and I'm going to tell Grandma that you're not nice to me." And I said, "And why am I not nice to you?" "Well, I asked you for a treat and you said that I couldn't have a treat, but I want a treat and you're not giving me one. You're mean." And this went on for about 10 minutes and went absolutely nowhere until I regained control of myself. Because I suddenly realized that I was having an argument with a 7.5-year-old. How in heaven's name do you have an argument with a 7.5-year-old? I was totally on a different planet. I sat her down and I said, "You're going to have to listen to me. I love you. And I said no to you because I was concerned that if I said yes to you, you would get a stomach ache, even though you won't agree with me that it's possible. And because I care about you, I said no. And then I did something, sweetheart, that I think I shouldn't have done. I got into an actual argument with you. And you were crying and you were screaming. And I got pretty loud. Well, I'm still going to say no. But I want you to know that I love you, that I'm concerned about you, and I was really worried inside my head that you were going to get a stomach ache from having another treat. And that's the reason I said no. People, I actually lost control of me because the distance psychologically between me and that youngster got blurred because my goals and her goals conflicted. But here's the important thing. I'm still reacting inside myself with having let go. It was over for her the moment I got through to her. It was gone. It was finished. She still loves her grandpa. And she will do it again. Second thing, very, very interesting. You know, what I've said is time and time again that the child within us loves us and wants us to be happy. And the only reason that child exists is to bring fun and joy into our lives. I recognized that when I got upset, she got more upset. And it appeared to me that she was more upset about my being upset than she was about my saying no. What am I telling you? The child within us needs to be loved, needs to be talked to, needs to be communicated with. And when we do, it's a heck of a lot better. Thanks for listening.